What's happening with the New York Yankees this season is honestly wild, especially when you start digging into the numbers and the team's offensive philosophy. It's the kind of thing that makes you step back and really think about just how much one player can influence a team's entire outlook. Aaron Judge, the captain of the Yankees, recently surpassed Yogi Berra on the all-time home run list for the franchise. And while that's an incredible milestone in itself, it also serves as a stark reminder of just how dependent the Yankees are on him to carry the lineup. When Judge is swinging the bat well, the team looks unstoppable. He's a two-time MVP already and is on track to be a three-time MVP, and that's just the surface of his impact. His presence in the lineup doesn't just influence games. It changes the way opposing teams pitch, it shifts the way the Yankees construct their offensive approach, and it even dictates how other players around him perform. There's no question that Aaron Judge is the centerpiece, but the numbers behind it reveal something far more concerning for the future, especially as the Yankees prepare for the postseason. The report that recently came out really puts this into perspective. When you look at the Yankees' offense with Judge in the lineup, they are respectable in most categories, though not exactly dominant across the board. They maintain a team batting average that's slightly above the league median. Their on-base percentage ranks impressively high, and when it comes to power stats like slugging, OPS, and home runs, the team is at the top of the league. That's exactly the kind of production you expect from a squad built around a player of Judge's caliber. But the real eye-opener comes when you remove his contributions from the equation. Without Judge, the batting average dips, on-base percentage drops significantly, and even power metrics take a hit. The team's overall performance falls from top tier to just average, or in some categories, even below average. This is the kind of statistical red flag that sets off alarms for anyone looking at the Yankees from a competitive standpoint. It's not that the rest of the lineup is incapable. Players like Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, Jazz Chisholm, Giancarlo Stanton, and others have had moments where they've contributed significantly, but the consistency isn't there. Judge isn't just another productive player. He's the axis around which this team turns. And when he's not performing or is unavailable, the cracks in the lineup become glaringly obvious. Looking deeper into the numbers, the disparity is staggering. With Judge, the Yankees maintain a batting average that is around the league median, while their on-base percentage ranks third in Major League Baseball. Their slugging percentage, OPS, home run totals, and at-bats per home run all sit at the very top, painting a picture of a lineup that is built to hit for power and maximize Judge's presence in the middle of the order. But without him, the team batting average drops to the lower half of the league. Their on-base percentage falls dramatically, and slugging and OPS both take noticeable hits. The home run total dips as well, revealing just how much the Yankees rely on their captain to produce not only for himself, but to elevate the rest of the lineup. It's an incredible display of individual talent, but it also exposes a vulnerability. If Judge struggles in a critical game or series, the team doesn't have a built-in plan B to maintain the same level of offensive firepower. That kind of dependence can be dangerous in the playoffs, where pitching is sharper, margins are smaller, and every at-bat carries exponentially more weight. Aaron Judge's individual performance this season has been nothing short of remarkable. He's putting up numbers that reinforce why he's considered one of the elite players in the game. Home runs are high, batting average is solid, RBIs are impressive, and even stolen bases show his all-around contribution to the team. He's been that steady, day-in, day-out presence that carries the Yankees through tough stretches, like the slump they experienced in June and July. During those months, the team struggled to find a rhythm, and Judge's ability to maintain consistent production was essential in helping the Yankees get back on track. But as impressive as his regular season stats are, the postseason paints a different picture. Historically, Judge's numbers in playoff games haven't matched his regular season dominance. A career playoff batting average that sits well below his regular season standard raises questions about how the Yankees will perform under postseason pressure. This isn't a critique of Judge's talent. It's simply a reality that the intensity of playoff baseball can impact even the best hitters. And it's not just Judge's individual performance that matters. the team's reliance on him amplifies the stakes. When he's not performing in the postseason, the Yankees lineup doesn't have the depth to pick up the slack. This has been a long-standing issue with New York. The Yankees have built themselves around stars, big names, and power hitters. But when a single player shoulders such a heavy burden, it exposes structural weaknesses. Without Judge, the team's overall offensive production drops to a level that's merely average or worse in several categories. It's a phenomenon that has fans and analysts alike questioning the depth and resilience of the roster. Can the Yankees really compete at the highest level if they continue to lean so heavily on one individual? And if Judge isn't producing in a key playoff series, who steps up? Players like Giancarlo Stanton have shown the ability to carry games in the past, but consistency across the roster remains a concern. The team philosophy of Judge or bust has created a double-edged sword. The Yankees benefit immensely when Judge is at his peak, but the margin for error becomes razor-thin without him. The implications of this are clear. Going into the 2025 postseason, the Yankees will need to find a way to maximize Judge's contributions while also finding additional sources of production. It's not just about who hits behind him or who can fill in gaps. It's about creating a team structure that doesn't collapse when one player isn't performing. This could mean adjustments in lineup construction, strategic planning from the manager, or relying on under-the-radar contributors who have yet to prove themselves in high-pressure situations. Aaron Boone and the coaching staff face the challenge of balancing Judge's central role with the necessity of a well-rounded lineup capable of surviving the intensity of playoff baseball. Ultimately, Aaron Judge remains the face of the Yankees and arguably the most influential player in the league. His achievements are monumental, his presence is transformative, and his impact on the team cannot be overstated. But the data makes it abundantly clear that while Judge can carry a team through stretches, the Yankees' future success depends on building a supporting cast that can step up when he isn't producing, particularly in the postseason. This is the kind of tension that makes following the Yankees in 2025 so fascinating. It's a story of brilliance, reliance, vulnerability, and the constant balancing act between individual greatness and team sustainability. As the postseason approaches, the question that looms largest over the Yankees is simple. Can Aaron Judge replicate his regular season dominance when the stakes are at their highest? History suggests this is not a given. While Judge has been a model of consistency during the long grind of the regular season, his playoff numbers tell a different story. Over his career, his batting average in postseason games has hovered well below what he puts up from April through September, and that discrepancy raises serious concerns for the team. It's not about questioning his talent. Judge is one of the most formidable hitters in the game, but the playoffs are an entirely different environment. Pitchers are sharper, scouting reports are deeper, and the intensity is magnified to a degree that can make even the most accomplished hitters struggle. For a team like the Yankees, whose offensive philosophy revolves so heavily around Judge's contributions, this is where vulnerability comes into play. Without a reliable secondary source of production, the pressure on him becomes almost unbearable, and that pressure has historically shown up in the box score. Beyond Judge, the Yankees supporting cast has potential, but it's inconsistent. Players like Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, Jazz Chisholm, and Giancarlo Stanton have all displayed moments of brilliance, but those moments have not always aligned with the team's critical needs. In the regular season, there is room for these players to find their rhythm, to contribute over a long series of games, and to ride the momentum when Judge is performing. In the playoffs, however, every at-bat carries disproportionate weight. A slump that might last a week in July can be fatal in October. That's the challenge the Yankees face. The regular season cushion disappears, and the reliance on Judge magnifies every weakness in the lineup. The difference between a strong team and a championship contender comes down to whether others can step into the spotlight when Judge is neutralized or off his game, and that is something the Yankees have struggled with historically. Consider Giancarlo Stanton, for example. Stanton has proven capable of carrying the team offensively during critical stretches, and his postseason numbers are considerably more reliable than Judge's in certain contexts. In past World Series runs, Stanton's production masked deficiencies elsewhere in the lineup, allowing the Yankees to advance even when Judge struggled at the plate. That kind of contribution is invaluable, but it cannot be relied upon entirely. Stanton himself is no stranger to slumps, and he cannot be the sole safety net for Judge. The key for the Yankees will be developing a strategy where multiple players can assume responsibility, creating a more balanced approach to scoring runs. When Judge is seeing tough matchups, when pitchers are aiming specifically to exploit weaknesses in the Yankees lineup, having reliable contributors behind him can create breathing room, opportunities to capitalize on mistakes, and pressure on opposing pitching staffs. Without that balance, the team risks the familiar scenario: one superstar carrying a team that is otherwise vulnerable in critical moments. Aaron Boone's role in orchestrating this balance cannot be overstated. How he manages the lineup, decides on player rotations, and constructs scenarios that maximize Judge's effectiveness while providing protection for the team is crucial. The Yankees need to consider every nuance: how the batting order impacts pitcher strategy, who can be counted on in high-leverage situations, and which players can rise to the occasion when the spotlight intensifies. It's a delicate equation. Leaning too heavily on Judge risks burnout or overexposure, while spreading the responsibility too thin may dilute the power that makes him so dangerous. In recent seasons, we've seen Boone experiment with lineup adjustments and strategic positioning to help cover for these gaps. But the upcoming postseason will be the ultimate test of how well these adjustments can succeed under pressure. The challenge is compounded by the fact that opposing teams are aware of the Yankees' reliance on Judge. Pitchers and managers have the luxury of designing their game plan around neutralizing the captain, knowing that the rest of the lineup may not consistently compensate. This is why the postseason often magnifies the limitations of a team like New York, whose identity is closely tied to one transcendent player. Another layer of complexity comes from the evolving composition of the Yankees roster. In past seasons, contributions from players like Juan Soto and others added depth and mass periods when Judge was struggling. With roster changes, the responsibility now falls even more heavily on the remaining stars, making the need for consistency from secondary contributors even more acute. Jazz Chisholm and Trent Giesham, for instance, are talented players capable of explosive games, but their consistency over a short postseason series is still a question mark. The Yankees need them to step up not just for one game, but in a sustained fashion across multiple high-pressure series. Without this contribution, the team's success may hinge entirely on Judge, and history has shown that placing such weight on a single individual is an inherently risky strategy in October. Ultimately, the 2025 postseason will be a test not only of Aaron Judge's ability to rise to the occasion, but also of the Yankees' capacity to create a reliable supporting cast. The team's philosophy of power and home runs is thrilling when it works, but it leaves little margin for error. Postseason baseball exposes vulnerabilities, and the Yankees must navigate this landscape carefully. They must find ways to protect Judge from excessive pressure, distribute responsibilities across the lineup, and ensure that multiple players are ready to deliver when it matters most. It's not just about talent. It's about timing, mental resilience, and strategic orchestration from the coaching staff. How Boone configures his lineup, how he leverages matchups, and how the team responds to high-leverage situations will all determine whether the Yankees can turn regular season success into a legitimate championship run. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. In what could be the most shocking move of the MLB offseason, whispers around the league are swirling that the New York Yankees have reportedly secured one of Japan's brightest young stars. According to sources close to the team, the Yankees are set to sign Roki Sasaki, the 21-year-old pitching sensation from the Nippon Professional Baseball League, to a 5-year deal that could reshape the franchise's future. While no official announcement has been made yet, insiders suggest that negotiations have progressed rapidly in recent weeks, and the deal is expected to be finalized soon. Sasaki, who has been described by Japanese media as a generational talent, is known for his blazing fastball and devastating splitter, a combination that has struck fear into batters across Japan. Scouts say he has the poise and command rare for someone his age, and his ability to dominate games could make him an instant impact player in New York. The Yankees, always hungry for marquee talent, have reportedly seen Sasaki as a centerpiece for a pitching rotation that has been searching for a true ace in recent years. Fans are buzzing with excitement and skepticism alike. While some argue that the transition from NPB to MLB is notoriously tricky, others point to the Yankees' history of investing in international talent and their resources for player development as reasons to believe this could be a masterstroke. Social media has exploded with speculation, with hashtags like hashtag Sasaki to Yankees and hashtag Rising Star trending among both American and Japanese baseball fans. If true, this move would mark one of the boldest international acquisitions in recent memory and signal that the Yankees are doubling down on their ambition to dominate not just the AL East, but the league at large. Critics are already debating whether the 5-year term is a risk or a statement of intent. Regardless, the idea of seeing Sasaki in pinstripes has reignited the age-old debate. Can the NPB's finest truly thrive on the MLB stage? As the rumor mill spins faster than ever, one thing is clear. The Yankees have captured headlines in a way few offseason moves ever do, and the baseball world is watching, waiting to see if Roki Sasaki will be the next international sensation to light up Yankee Stadium. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.